In other news, yesterday was apparently opposite day as the so-called Jewish Voice for Peace panel entitled Dismantling Anti-Semitism took place. But why opposite day? Well, because of the choice in panelists for the online event, which included Peter Beinart, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, Mark Lamont Hill, and Barbara Ransby, all of whom, JVP included, have themselves been accused of anti-Semitism. And joining us now with more is Hen Mazzig, Senior Fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute. So, Hen, what were their main arguments, really? And was the panel what you anticipated it would be?
You've described it perfectly. I think it was a pathetic panel of that, contrary to their claims, that they try to make anti-Semitism into the same type of hatred that is just like racism and bigotry against any other community. They made it about Israel. It almost sounded like they are saying, and I think one of them actually said that without Israel there wouldn't be anti-Semitism. It was just ridiculous to watch people that have all engaged in anti-Semitism, have all had to apologize for anti-Semitism, speaking about it as experts.
Well, so, what did they exactly propose to fight anti-Semitism, though? Because ultimately that was the point of the panel, and we may not agree on their points, but what were they? Did they give anything concrete or actionable?
The sole focus was about white nationalism, and while it is important, and we need to remember that white nationalism and neo-Nazis have been causing much pain and were conducted deadly attacks against Jews around the world, it was just about ignoring anti-Semitism from the left, ignoring terrorism that killed Jews. And funnily enough, Barbara Ransby said that those who advocate for BDS and are anti-Zionists are not the enemies of the Jewish people. She actually said that the enemy is the kind of people who go into synagogues in California and open fire to deadly damage. And that's absolutely correct. But Barbara Ransby fundraised for Razma Odeh, a convicted terrorist that is no different than the Pittsburgh shooter or the other white nationalists that murdered Jewish civilians for political gain. Barbara led the fundraiser to get Razma Odeh out of prison, and Barbara was basically saying that this is not anti-Semitism, and to kill Jewish people if they're Israelis, it's basically a fight for justice.
All right. Well, I know that Peter Beinart at one point during the panel made mention of left-wing anti-Semitism as well, saying that needed to be addressed. So did that go any further than a throwaway comment?
Yeah, it was just lip service. They didn't speak for once about left-wing anti-Semitism, and they tried their best to steer clear from speaking about actual anti-Semitism. The feeling that you got from watching this panel was that these people are committed to fighting anti-Semitism, and that they are all, Rashida Tlaib said how she's so committed to the fight against anti-Semitism, and that's something that everyone can say. But it's, being against anti-Semitism means calling out anyone who endangers and dehumanizing Jews, regardless of their policies. And that did not happen in this panel. It wasn't about anti-Semitism. It was about redefining anti-Semitism for the Jewish people. And fighting anti-Semitism also means supporting policies not supporting policies that physically endanger and cause distress to Jews, which Rashida Tlaib has done before. And all of those panelists have, as we said, engaged in those type of policies, engaged in anti-Semitism, and made life really challenging and made Jews feel in distress. I mean, the responses to this panel online by Jewish people, hundreds and thousands of them. I mean, so much so that we had to come together and arrange our own panel of Jews to speak about anti-Semitism that is going to happen later today.
All right. Well, yeah, I was just going to mention, actually, that I understand that you have your own panel in response, so to speak, to this previous JVP panel. Good luck with that. Hen Mazzig, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.